Alright, hello everyone, it's mysticjuicer back with some more Yomi action, and this is, again, recapping or finishing off a couple of tournament sets here in the Not Dead Yet tournament. Standard counterpick tournament, first to four. This is winners semifinals? This is just before grand finals, so whoever wins here will sit in grand finals until the losers bracket finishes off, and then that is actually semifinals. I guess winner semis. I think that's right. I don't know. I don't know anything about tournaments. Oh, shoutouts to Phoebes. Thanks, man. So yeah, this was played a while ago. My opponent is Three-Headed Monkey. He has he's coming off of a 4-1 victory against Migo Hunter. So I know he's been giving people the business in the winners bracket. So I will do him the respect I give all of my opponents, which is I'm gonna pick Trock. I'm gonna try to put my best foot forward here. He has played a variety of different characters throughout the tournament, I believe, from what I can recall. So where I am not sure exactly what my opponent's going to play, where I can't kind of play a pre-counterpick style game, I'm just going to play either of Trock or Onimaru, which are characters I'm very, very comfortable with and that I feel have a good shot against a wide variety of the cast. We should be getting underway shortly as Three-Headed Monkey has readied up. Try to give you a play-by-play of kind of my decision making and give you the story behind different plays, maybe. All right, here we go. Okay, Trock versus DeGray. Pretty good matchup for me. I expect that he picked DeGray because he was expecting Onimaru to come out. So we get a nice early counterpick. I don't think it's a strong counterpick. This is definitely not a matchup that DeGray loses handily. But it's definitely one that Trock has a bit of an advantage. Okay. So we open up with Jack, just trying to play around early throw, early 2 poke, 5 attack, that sort of thing. And this does take a little bit of the scariness of some of DeGray's damage potential out of the way. Immediate follow-up with King, so probably we're going to get duffed. Yeah, given our luck. So 5 attack hits us. This might not even lead into all that much. We managed to pull a 7, which is nice. It does give Three-Headed Monkey an ace for free. He does not have to power up for that. He can deal some damage and also put an ace in hand. And now we've got single ace in hand. I'm leading the 6 because I'm expecting a throw or a pile bunker. Throw if he feels like I am too worried about whether it's going to be an attack or the ace dodge. And 6, just hedges around throw very nicely. It doesn't lead into much damage, but I could draw into the 7, in which case, I'm getting a lot of nice damage out of that. And if not, I can always combo it up with the queen. I don't really care about having queens or jacks. Queens or jacks are essentially interchangeable in this matchup. Is the way I think about it. Okay, now he has powered up for the additional ace. Well, I expect a throw. Since the double ace put some pressure on me, he can combo into double ace off of anything. He can either throw into it or attack into it. It makes it less likely if he has 2 aces that he's going to be dodging, so I expect that's why he went for the dodge. Perhaps expecting me to hedge around attack throw more than hedging around dodge. I'm just going to play queen into his knockdown because Got a fairly large hand. I don't have a 4, 5, or 6 that I would be willing to try to go for a cross-up attempt with. I'm never going to be leading with a normal that loses to pile. That's just something I don't want to do if I can't help it. I'm already risking pile bunkers every time I throw. That's a very nice combat win for me. There's 3 aces now in the discard. With those 3 aces gone, my real worries are just general high damage combos. But I don't need to panic about blocking as much. Something can throw into king, throw into 6 jack. Those are going to be his big damage combo. Got a lot of queens. I've drawn all 3 remaining ones. The issue is I don't really have... Nice. Okay, so I get the second block off. I can now convert those queens into aces. 3 queens is nice. This isn't really a matchup where I need to have a lot of pokes. Gray is a pretty slow character in terms of his attack speeds. If he's hitting you with a 2, a 3, or a jack or king, his damage output is really capped. And I don't really need to worry about that stuff at 71 hit points. So I would prefer to win this kind of combat with like a 4 or a 5 attack. It's going to protect me from that rhetoric move. It's going to protect me from his 7. But it's also going to lead into, I can either combo it into queens or I can combo it into ace-ace. Bit unfortunate. I would rather not be spending these queens as like single combat reveals. Although they are going to give me a nice bit of a life lead here. 60 to 70. 10 hit point lead. Still have not found anything. I'm holding on to those 10s for as long as I possibly can, just in case he does cash out a whole bunch of cards in hand and put himself into a position where he no longer has a big hand size, and then I can just get a free 45. There we go, all 4 queens spent. Still no additional 4, 5, or 6 in hand. We've got ace-ace though. I could be hanging on to it. I think hanging on to it and just blocking. Well, blocking is kind of weak, but I could dodge with the 9 instead of playing ace-ace. But I think it's fairly unlikely he's going to be blocking here, and it doesn't seem like he has the other ace to be dodging with, so instead we'll just get that value. Cash out 20 damage. And now we just need to win combat twice, basically. Okay, we found a jack. I'm holding on to the king for as long as possible because the more queens and other face cards I play, the less likely it is that I'm going to have any good pokes. So I'm expecting him to hedge more around king, essentially, than I am expecting him to hedge around other stuff. Okay, we get the bluff off, so we don't take all that much damage. Probably just going to block here. Unless I draw a 4, 5, or 6, I'm going to block here, probably. If I had 4, 5, or 6, because I have the Joker as backup, I'm really not afraid of losing combat to an ace dodge. So I know he now has 2 of those aces in hand. He can so he'll be able to combo off of any combat win. Don't want to give him any free health, so I'm not going to be throwing there. It's too scary to throw on from this position. Anyway, it's not like it gives me all that much value. Okay, try to find 15 damage here. Got a nice life lead. We've got the blue burst as backup. Go, we find 15, halfway there. And now any throw will kill if he does not have a joker in it. Got all 4 10s. So I can consider, just putting him to the ground and seeing if I can cross him up or make him afraid enough that I can dodge into lethal. Just go for king on knockdown. Why not? Probably gonna get kinged here. No. A little bit worse than that. Get hit with double ace. Give him 22 damage there. This is at 41. We're still doing all right. Could power up for single ace with the 2 7s, but I'll just hold on to that for a little bit longer. Okay, there we go. Now we have 3 7s in the hand. We can, on the next turn, we'll be able to power those up for an ace. Okay, again, pretty bad combat loss, all else being equal, but again, that's a joker out of his hand. That's probably the only one he has. And I have joker of my own, so I'm not too terribly worried about losing a combat. The worst would be to lose combat into a pile bunker that he then respects my face down for. But even that is not too terribly bad. See if we can combo this 5. Deep in the think tank. Okay, gets the dodge off. Got the blue burst. And I really do have to blue burst this. If he has a secret ace in hand, this could just deal way too much damage. So we're going to be left standing. No damage off of that. Have Beast Unleashed. We really, really want for a throw. And we draw on the other Joker too, so this is great. Really good. I'm considering here whether I want to use one of my very precious dodges to go for a knockdown. He has not yet played any kings, if I recall correctly. Should be checking his discard fairly consistently, but I don't believe I have seen any kings come out. Okay, he gets the correct block. That could have been lethal. Blocking in that position... what does that tell us? It strongly kind of implies that he doesn't have the kings at all. Either that or he thinks the dodge was way more likely. A little surprising to me. Now, having spent all of our dodges, we can now safely dodge. we've covered all of our options. We'll spend the double ace. Okay, he does in fact have the other Joker, so the block there made a lot of sense. If he believed that I did not have Beast Unleashed, it was a really good call. So what he can consider now is, unless I have 2 aces in hand, yeah, I would expect him to play more fast attacks from this position. Because I spent all of my queens, 2 of my jacks, and I actually can't... Oh no, I could have killed off of that. What are you doing? What am I doing? Oh, miss lethal. Oh, so brutal. Oh, that's embarrassing to see. Yeah, I didn't realize I had friggin' 2 attached. If I had comboed into the 6, it would have been lethal. That was really stupid. So if he takes this game off me, it's absolutely deserved. Okay, we'll put the other Joker on the table here. Oh, that's so bad. I can't believe that I made that big a misplay. Oh my god. was like, oh yeah, obviously I can't kill off of 5 into 6. Forgetting for a second that I had, 4 free damage sitting there. Bad stuff. Too distracted. Okay, so I'm putting him in the pincer of Beast Unleashed or 1.0 speed Eagle Totem. Or I can hang on to both and just play the Jack into a possible King. No, okay. Undercut the 5, close things out. Was too scared of playing the dodge again. Because he thought I was for sure going to throw it, I suppose. Underestimated how terrified I was. That is, we'll take that. We will absolutely take that. Okay, so immediate switch to Geiger. Kind of a bad hand to start off with, and I'm not sure exactly what kind of Geiger three-headed monkey is. So if I'm not sure, I go for the block. But we'll see if we can assemble some cards in hand. Immediately rotate the other 7s just so that I know that I block with the same card consistently, because it's something I don't write anything down. I have a very bad memory, as obvious from the fact that I forgot the I forgot troublesome rhetoric or point counterpoint as a move name. Okay, this is bad. I'm starting to get really worried now. It seems that three-headed monkey plays a very patient Geiger, and had I known that, I would have been playing the throw button much more consistently. Luckily, we hit him with the rule of 3s. He's blocked twice in a row. He's expecting another block or a throw. He goes for the option select fast time spiral, and we undercut. Could have gone for the throw, because I don't mind losing to jacks in the early game with throws. What I'm really worried is running into a 5 or a queen. Queen, not as much, because it doesn't give the draw. But either of those can rapidly get you into trouble. So just going for the knockdown here. I want to keep those 7s in hand for as long as possible. See if I can get an attached block any point. Start assembling 10s so that we can punish any low hand Geiger shenanigans. And otherwise, just keep the pressure on. See if we can get some attached blocks. Try not to take too much damage in the early game. So his hand so far tells me that he probably doesn't have too many spirals, because he's playing really conservative. He's playing like he has a bad hand. Block, block, very early, then a spiral, then a throw from knockdown. Nothing too terribly scary. I have 6, 7, 8 as a straight, but I don't know how likely it is that I'm going to be able to get a cross up here, so that's fine. Taking 10 damage and getting sat down is not too bad. Pretty happy with that. I will likely block with an 8 here, or no, I'll block with a 3 here, because the thing I'm really worried about is getting comboed with a 5. If he hits me with any other normal, I am alright with that. Just blocks on knockdown, expecting either a wake up queen or a wake up jack. Get to keep 3 as a block. With 10 cards in hand, I'm expecting him to start getting aggressive. Hence the blocks coming out. Okay, this isn't too bad. We're going to take 10 damage here, but it's going to pull 2 cards out of his hand. So all in all, pretty happy with that. At least 2 cards. He could choose to combo here. Okay, no, plays it conservative. Still working a tiny life lead at the moment. And still no face cards to speak of. We've had that one jack at the beginning of the game, and nothing since then. So I'm hoping that he's afraid that I'm going to eventually start doing stuff from knockdown. Played a conservative the first time around, so now I'm definitely going to wake up queen. Instead, we'll get him with a throw. I've got a big enough hand here that I can choose to cash in some additional damage. 51 is a pretty good place to have Geiger at. Getting close to the magical 45. Have not yet attached any cards at all. Fortunate. But he's been playing very, very slow, and he's not been playing very aggressive. He's led with spirals twice and tried to throw once, and that's basically been it so far. Okay, more throws. See what this leads into. Okay, just knockdown. Again, this is implying that he has something that he wants to combo into, but we haven't really seen any big damage yet. Cashing out the 7s because I want to at least, I'm feeling very vulnerable at the moment. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we managed to bait a king, which is nice too. I'm feeling very, very vulnerable. I haven't drawn any of queens or jacks that I would love to have in the early game. There we go. Second jack, second face card of the game, essentially. We're doing okay health-wise, but he's starting to get deeper into his deck. We have been fairly good at denying him the ability to draw all that much. He's only 18 cards deep. We're at 19. Okay, we get the second block off. That's excellent. We could convert 2 9s into a third ace. Start opening up that game. Okay, so we're immediately going to do that. Yeah. So the name of the game here is to put pressure on. I want to start baiting bursts. I want to start pulling jokers out of his hand. We've got a very flexible hand now. I've got single block, one of each face card. See if we can pull a joker here. Let's go for it. Like if it works, we win almost immediately, and if not, then hey, our clock is set back a little bit. Our hand is still very flexible. We can try to play a grindier game here. He's going to start powering up as well. Got 8 cards and 2 aces, especially considering he hasn't really shown that he's got too many other spirals in hand. I am not particularly worried. I'm also not particularly worried because he's already got, he hasn't put Temporal Distortion up. And Temporal Distortion is really the thing that makes this a scary place to be. If he combos into double ace, I'm not too worried. Hence the king. I think it's very unlikely he's going to play aces raw. Unless he has all 4 of them, it doesn't really do him all that much good. And even if he has all 4 of them, it's not inconceivable I would have a joker by now. About halfway through the decks. Slightly ahead of him in terms of speed there. We've just drawn all of our kings. Why not play a bunch of them? Go. Find another 15 damage. We are 21 hit points away from taking game 2. Got a single dodge in hand. I'm going to hold on to that. Unless he somehow puts himself at 1 card in hand, I'm not going to play that. Okay, there we go. He's expecting another another king out of nowhere, or possibly another throw, because it's I'm giving them the impression that I've caught on to the fact that his hand is kind of butts. Okay, there we go. Temporal Distortion comes out. Finds the jack out of his discard. I have, okay, a double Temporal Distortion. This could be a lethal amount of damage. The question I have is, should I knock him down with the 10 and then play something fast at him to try to undercut Fast Time Spiral and get rid of both Temporal Distortions? If I do that, though, I risk walking into Time Spiral Hurricane, which is 2.0 speed, which undercuts and leads into a billion damage. I do have to be worried about dodging, because throw into whatever his combo is almost certainly going to be way more damage than attack into billion damage. I'm going for the dodge anyway. Okay, so we could have kinged him for lethal. It's unfortunate. But we drew another dodge, which is nice. And I'm basically banking on the fact that, yeah, that he wouldn't want to do that. That he would go for the attack. So we'll see if we can tank some damage here. He might have enough to kill us just off of the time spirals we know he has. So he has 22 damage off of the aces, and then 20 damage off of the jacks. Is 42, and then 50. Yeah, I don't think he has enough to kill. Okay, no, he's got the other. Yeah. That's 60. Okay, does not play anything else to deny me the draw. Could have tried to go for lethal with king. If he had two kings, probably he would have gone for the knockdown and tried to play the king. Shall see. So I have limited opportunities for lethal from this position. Basically, only king is lethal from my side of the board. King or normal throw, and a 5 or a queen or something like that, or a king will hedge against both of that. So I'm expecting king here, and I guess he just did not have it. So we take that game, or he was unsure about playing. Just unsure enough for us to sneak the king lethal in. So we are up 2 games in the set. We've beaten the Geiger counterpick. Gonna stick in that mode. See if we can take 2 games off of this. So again, he played very conservatively in the opening. I have a straight. Could go for 5-6-7 or 6-7-8. I really expect a throw. I really do not, though. I'm expecting a poke, or for him to just continue blocking. So jack is pretty good. Again, I don't mind throwing into jack. It's slightly worse than blocking the jack, but I'm not mad at that. Even though I have 6-7-8, I really don't kind of want to play 6-7-8. It removes a lot of blocks from my hand very early, and if he catches on to the fact that I'm block starved, he can really bully me. Instead, we'll go back to blocking. Just be conservative. Play defensive, try to activate the 2 aces that we already have in our hand, so if we can get True Power of Beats online as quickly as possible. We're almost at rook throws here. No follow-up. 9 damage and knockdown is plenty. Deny him the block in his hand. Could go for a 4 cross-up here, or go for a block. Those are basically the 2 options. Cross up 4 into double ace is all right. Although probably, given that we've already got 2 aces in hand, just activating, and given that we have 2 7s in hand, just activating Beast Unleashed is way better. There we go. It's turn like 4, and we've got, if we want it, we have Beast Unleashed. The trick now, and what Trock will often, if you're having trouble against Trock, especially once he's got 2 cards attached in the early game, you can, so long as you don't get lit up with too many queens or jacks, you can actually go in against Trock fairly safely. If he's spending dodges, those are dodges he doesn't have in the late game where he wants them, or late mid game or late game where he really wants them for his super. And he can get into, like, if you manage to navigate his queens and jacks in the early, you can put yourself in a position where all of a sudden, if he doesn't have the dodges he needs, he just has a bunch of really slow moves, and he's got to continually power up for Eagle Totem if he wants to discourage you from attacking. None of that is particularly great. And you can see Three-Headed Monkey seems to have caught on. Well, he gives me an opening there, but he seems to have caught on, right? Saw the two attached cards, immediately played a queen. It's like, you're probably going to be on the attack throw side of the triangle. Lights up one of my throw attempts, hits me with the 5 to stuff my king. And again, every time, okay, that's a little bit aggressive. he's throwing a lot on knockdown, and I'm not following up. I don't want to get myself into a position where I am low on hand size. I have really everything I want to have in hand. I can try stuffing some stuff with fast or slow jacks. Yeah, that's embarrassing. But again, I don't pay for it too badly, which is why I'd rather try to get 10 than 7. Okay, find another king. And we are still in find face cards, play face cards mode. This lets us deny his draws, so we're keeping him at a 7-card hand, which is nowhere near where he wants to be with this character. Hitting a rich vein of kings, be able to make his life living hell. 3 10s in hand, so if he feels like, if we ever get a big enough life lead, we can probably close things out as he tries to recover. This might be a very good combat loss for us, actually. No, he doesn't follow up with anything. Which again is also great, right? We get a Joker for free. He's got to pick between 2 bad options off of that combat win. He's either got to follow it up, which leaves him at low hand, and it turns out if he ever has 3 cards in hand, he's just going to lose. Playing a dodge here just to see if I can fish a Joker out of his hand. Okay, so no Jokers. I should probably power up the 7s, yeah. Yeah, there we go. So I dodged before I had Beast Unleashed in hand just to see if I could fish something out. It also takes 2 cards out of his hand on that combat, which again gets him close to a position where we just win. Okay, just dodging. Fortunately, this lets him build up that hand again. See if we can find a little bit of damage. Okay, there we go. We activated it. He's at 44. So if we raw Beast Unleash him, that's it. It's the whole ball game. We also now have dodge into true lethal. We are in a very good spot. We spent a fair amount of cards. I'm blocking here rather than dodging to give him the impression that I'm out of dodges. Hopefully making my next combat reveal more successful as a result. What I'm hoping to do is, okay, sees the block. He's like, okay, well, the worst that can now happen if I attack him is that he blocks it and loses that block card anyway. That's what I'm hoping to achieve there. I'm going to bait an attack. He's just down backing, forcing me to think about whether I want to come to him. Powers up for single ace. See temporal distortion. Gotta be. There we go. So I was hoping to avoid that, but managed to find his way there. So we know he has a single jack and a single ace. Okay. So, 2 jacks and a single ace. Probably 2 jacks, 2 aces. That is 40 damage. We do not have the blue burst option here. So instead, I'm just going to go for Raw Beast Unleashed. Probably more appropriate for me to just dodge again, to be quite honest. But we will see. Hopefully the dodge bait worked. Yes, it would have worked. So unfortunately, we're going to take, well, we'll take maximum 40 damage here. Because he played the 0.0 speed side of that. See if we can discourage him from playing any more aces. Pretty likely those were the only aces he had in his hand. Yeah, we'll just power up aces of our own. We need the aces for pressure, so that he has to pick between losing to ace-ace or getting thrown. And we find the third ace, so that's cool. The only issue is we don't have any blocks, so we can't activate them. I'm thinking dodge here just so we can get a king out of his hand. Okay, so he did in fact have the other ace. This is nice. We'll be able to get rid of temporal distortion. I should just normal throw. Nope. Yeah, no, do not leave temporal distortion up. Jesus Christ. Okay, there we go. So we know he's got 2 jacks and 4 mystery cards. He knows we have 2 aces. We can continue dodging. We dodge, we have to spend double 8. I'm continuously suspicious that he is he's holding on to kings somewhere in his hand. He's going to play them now. Wake up the 7th throw. He felt like, yeah, okay, I haven't played too many kings, so he's probably expecting me to king him here. Do not have any blocks. Okay, we draw a block. We may be able to block safely here. Okay, so he has spent 2 kings. Pretty deep. I guess he's a little bit past halfway through his deck. It's not unreasonable that he might not have them. He does get to look at a ton of cards there, I think. Not exactly sure how many offhand. Okay, gets the temporal distortion up. This is, again, going to push us towards waking this ace rather than anything else. So we have choice of block or ace-ace. I'm hoping that he is going to play a king here. This may be... Yeah, that's basically lethal. So should have ace-aced. There's no way he doesn't have it. Throw. Yeah. Okay, so it turns out he had plenty of spirals, but he had the king as well. So he went for the gutsy lethal. Okay, that explains my decision making way more. Like, I mean, it's still lethal even if he didn't have temporal distortion up, but it guarantees it because if I had the Joker, it would have been lethal. Okay, so we are up 2-1. He's got Geiger up. So, character I'm most likely to pick here is Onimaru. It is my personal Geiger counter pick. That's what we're going to do. So again, the logic here is Onimaru disrupts Geiger's late game inevitability slightly with his final authority ability, which lets him just win attack clashes. So Geiger doesn't have that late game pressure of, oh, I have a 0.0 speed attack, and also I can throw you for a bajillion damage. Onimaru lets you option select both of those, and really only loses late game dodges. And in the early game, Onimaru has the better control. His Guard Crush allows you to deal more card efficient damage than Geiger's Time Spirals. They're less dependent, kind of more plentiful than Geiger's Time Spirals are. You kind of have to draw into them. Unfortunately, you've got to find your 10s and your 8s, and much more likely, especially in this matchup, you've got to find your 10s more than anything. But he's got good throws as well. His 7th throw option select, covers, or is the dominant throw, I should say, in the matchup. So even late game, that 7th throw is going to do some nice amount of work. Early game, it gets rid of those high blocks that Geiger wants. Geiger feels comfortable blocking with. And just generally, I feel like Onimaru can be more relaxed in the early game. So we're assembling our cards. We really want to find as many pairs of jacks as possible. Geiger is going to sit back and do some blocking. We've got 2 aces. We've already tossed out one of the kings. Kings are... It really depends whether you're going to play kings in any matchup on how long the matchup is. Versus Geiger, you can sit around on kings for a while until they accumulate and then just play them when you're ready. Or you can just use them as pumpers depending on what your hand comp is like. On the knockdown, we've got basically two ways we can play it. We can wake up with any of a variety of different Shoryukens that Onimaru has. So we could play single ace there, we could play queen there, we could play Final Authority backed jack or king there, or you can wake up with a Guard Crush or I went for the throw, expected him to play more conservatively, less riskily, going for dodge. And yeah, that's not a bad combat to take. Gives him more cards, but on the whole, not going to be too much. We can try to get 2 attached aces here, so try to activate that. Single block, he's making it slower than I thought he would. Now has 12 cards in hand. The way that Geiger can get around this this early game pressure from Onimaru is if you can navigate by navigate around high normals and aces in the early game by blocking correctly and poking correctly. Once he's got this high hand size, all he needs to do is power up as many things as aces and start playing for throw or for dodge punish. Every successful dodge, you're dealing 20 damage. Okay, our turn to be the beatdown again. Have attached Clockwork Soldiers, so we can immediately start. Our queens are now activated. They deal far more damage than they ordinarily do. Generally, you're going to play queens and aces interchangeably in the early game because they both deal not all that much damage. They're flat as opposed to the kings, which have a much higher damage ceiling, and jacks, which again you can pump at least once for 10. So if you're going to be spending something, you might as well make. Now that I've shown that I'm willing to play immediate queen after after getting attached Clockwork Soldiers, I figure the wake up throw is more likely. Ordinarily have been. Fairly close game still. The momentum is kind of shifted back over to Geiger's side. Now that we're in this mid-game position where we've both kind of got developed hands. Very gutsy throw there. Really surprised to see that, actually. Now that we've both got developed hands, he has the explosive damage potential. So, I could be at lethal range right now, especially after that power up. Whereas, even if I hit with all 4 kings, he's still going to be. So, until I can land another 1 or 2 hits, I'm going to be on the back foot. I'm expecting him to dodge here. Yeah. Thankfully, I am correct. I do not get my head torn off by a temporal distortion combo. I can throw the queen. I kind of want to hang on to the 8s and the jacks. I don't want to get rid of the 2 because it's a dodge. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the mix-up, right? Geiger gets these opportunities where if he is correct off of an attack or of a throw, can win the game. I took a risky bet on the fact that he would try to protect himself from the obvious play, and luckily it paid off. Okay, so he's gone back to blocking. Surprise. Expect him to be dodging from this position. Might have run out of dodge. I haven't gone for too many guard crushes, so he could be feeling too comfortable for his own cash out with the king. I don't really care if he draws additional cards here. He's already got a billion of them. He's already got at least 2 aces in hand. Okay, cashing it all in for aces. Still no temporal distortion. Could just be aces raw. Okay, nice. Catch a king. We're gonna have to throw away either a 5 or an 8. I would throw away the 5. Yeah, it's very unlikely we're gonna be dealing with too many normal attacks here. This is gonna leave him at 3 hit points. Really wish I hadn't gotten rid of a king that I could have used here for a guaranteed kill. Probably go for the 8 throw, or yeah, okay, sure. I mean, I guess it's the same thing, right? The 8 attack beats blocks, like beats an overwhelming amount of blocks. The reason I didn't face down there is I thought it was fairly likely that he might hold it back if he did. And this way, future Joker is potentially way better. And it lets me pretty safely play for the... There we go. Beat a very gutsy 10 throw for 3-1. And just have to win 1 more to close out the set and move on to grand finals. Now, Three-Headed Monkey has to choose whether he wants to counterpick Onimaru and then deal with the potential Troc counterpick on the next cycle, or if he wants to stick with Geiger and just play Geiger Onimaru to the set. Okay, so chooses to counterpick. And this is the 2 fantastical Onimaru counterpicks in this game are Argagarg and Gray. I definitely have way more trouble against Gray than I do Argagarg. So yeah, I have literally never won this matchup before in my life. But yeah, there's I have this kind of joke about, there's two kinds of Onimaru players, the ones that think the gray is unwinnable and the ones that think that Arg is unwinnable. I definitely put myself in the DeGray is unwinnable camp. But I suppose they both have kind of their ups and downs. The difficulty with DeGray, and the reason that I dislike playing him more, is the match against DeGray is much faster. Onimaru deals his damage in like 15 to 20 damage chunks, and DeGray can just blow past that really, really quick. Onimaru likes to have a pretty sizable hand, especially going into the late game. You want to assemble your options. Having a 7th throw can be really important. A bit of a execution mistake there. Having 7 throws is really important, so you can at least beat his 8s clean. Having 7 and 8 throws is good. Making sure you have sufficient queens is really important. Do you have the correct suit of final authority? All that sort of stuff. And in a faster game, you just might not get. Just might not get the cards you need before your hit points have disappeared. Whereas against Argark, you're going to be losing dribs and drabs. You're going to be losing even if you win combats. But it'll take a while. And if he can overcommit, he can put himself on low hand. You might be able to exploit. You can play for kings, right? You can assemble the 4-king combo and try to go for some sort of dodge into lethal play. It's a matter of opinion. Low normals are going to be more important in this match, I feel like, just to kind of occupy and control the gap that DeGray's 4 leaves, because he does not have a 4 attack. 3s and 4s are going to be quite good. His 2s and 3s are probably going to be powered up for aces. He's just lighting me up right now. Evening up the life totals, though, so we're still at fairly even life totals. He has single known ace in hand right now, 2 aces, so I've got to start playing the will he, won't he game. In the very first match we played, as soon as he had 2 aces, he immediately went for ace dodge. So I'm counting on the fact that he's going to want to throw because he knows that that tendency is there, but he's just sticking to the tendency. Start hopefully punishing this later. Putting the 6 down just to try to discourage as much damage as possible doesn't do me a tremendous amount of good having it in hand. Kings and jacks serve exactly the same purpose that the 6 attack would have, just to cover ground, beat out 5s and pile bunkers and 7s. I'm going to take this opportunity to sit back a little bit and build up a hand. At 10, I now have an opportunity to dodge into something, but I think I'm going to go back to blocking. Now he opens up the throw. Really glad I didn't go for the 10 throw there. Okay, and he's not playing either of the aces. He's cashing in fairly free damage. He's got a hit point so far. Have not found jokers yet. Okay, goes back to dodging. Okay, draw the 7. 7 is nice. Hoping he's going for a throw here. Yes, we are correct. Get to crush that, even up the life totals a little bit. We draw a 6, which we can discard. Probably going to hold on to the kings. There's no reason to hold back here. We want to kill him in 3 attacks. So that's 1. We need 2 more. A little bit more if we win off of a... He's now got 3 known aces in hand. Fairly likely. Or no, I think that's known. 3 known aces in hand. We'll go for the throw. Catch an ace. Probably throw away both kings and hope we pick up a jack somewhere. The other option is throw away jack and the 2 and hold on to the kings. But they're awkward too. 17 damage. Trying to find 25. Okay, if we found an ace poke, not ideal. He now has 2 known aces in hand. But he's been throwing with pretty slow stuff, so 9 throw might be okay. Okay, we take 20 damage. That's fine. Ace is now gone. Got a low hand. I believe there's one more ace in his hand, though. So we can try to call it out as rudely as possible with 10 throw. It also option selects, very importantly, his own 10 throw. Yeah, there we go. Pretty sure that was known. And I'm going to throw away everything except the 9 and the 2. I have lethal off of the 9 throw. Lethal off of the 2. Dodge. Doesn't have the Joker. I believe he's played 1. I'm not sure. Okay, successful dodge. Dodge into the jack here. Go for lethal and... no, denied. Okay, he draws some cards. Pretty important. Draw into a faster throw. Pretty good. We now actually have an option of just blocking with the 9. Okay, we can't kill off of a throw here. Not going to be throwing. It's either block or punish a throw. Okay, successfully blocked. Again, every turn now it's going to be, do we think he's gonna throw or dodge? And luckily we found the 8. We close out the game. We're gonna pump with both final authorities. And that's it. So thanks for watching. We move on to grand finals. At this point I do not yet know who that is. Now know from the present that it is in fact Bob 199, so I will bring you that match very, very soon. Thank you for watching, and until next time, enjoy yourself some Yomi.